Yay, we're live. Hey guys, good morning. It's Sonia with Junk Monkey Paint Company. How are you this morning? Happy Monday to you guys. How was your weekend? Who's here today? Hey Naomi. Hey Brenda. Good morning. Oh, I love that sunshine. Let's see what's doing out there today. There's some sunshine out there today. Chilly. We had, I think, about 3 inches of snow yesterday. And yeah, so even though Phil, we live about an hour and a half from Punxsutawney, the weather capital of the world, and apparently the groundhog says it was a little bit hard to digest yesterday because the groundhog says we're going to have our early spring, but yet you look out and you go, I just woke up to like 3 inches of snow. Come on, Phil, what are you doing here? Hey, Jerry. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Kim. So, but we are on the other side. I mean, seriously, how fast does time go, right? So did you guys watch the video I put up yesterday for you on watermarking your videos? Stacy says it was in the 50s yesterday where you were. Oh, nice. That's not bad. 50s is not bad, right? 50s close to 60, close to 70, close to 80. Perspective, right? It's all about perspective. Sandy says, hello, good morning. Did you guys, also I have to ask, did you guys watch the Super Bowl last night? So this is the big question of the day. I don't know anything about football. I only watch for the halftime and the commercials. True story. All right. But do you watch the Super Bowl and are you a football fan? Or like I said, are you like me and are you there for the chips and the dip and the munchies and the other stuff, right? I just didn't grow up in Canada. I learned how, all about hockey, but football was not something that I knew anybody that was into. Again, different places you travel, right? It's all perspective. It's all relative to the area. So when I moved to the US, well, before I even moved to the US, I realized that my husband was a football fanatic and I'm like, I have no idea what you're watching. And then when we moved here, I quickly realized that, man, there's such thing as Super Bowl Sundays and there's parties and there's a whole thing being made out of it, right? So I still haven't learned how to play football, but I know I can at least look at the screen to figure out why they're kicking a ball down the other side of the field. But I'm really here for the munchies and the ads and the halftime. Catherine says she's like me as well. Oh, Debbie's a football fan. You're going to have to teach me. I asked probably the best time to ask about football is not when the football game is going on. So what are they doing there? Oh, yeah? Okay, but what about that? Ways to drive your husband nuts. Tina, just in time with the family, not really a fan. Yeah, right. Yeah, we got some good food last night and we sat down and we just relaxed. And I have my reasons and Matt has his reasons for watching. So who remembers some commercials from last night? This is what I want to talk with you guys about today. Because I was sitting there last night thinking and also looking on my phone. So the commercials were coming out, right? And companies pay a lot to be aired during Super Bowl time. And they usually make some really funny commercials. It's almost like every year they compete for who's going to be memorable, right? Which is what I titled this, How to Be Memorable. And think about that, because I was sitting there looking at the commercials that were making me laugh. And then if I picked up my phone, I was literally seeing people write about it, like what, the name of that brand and, put in a laughy face or something like that. And I thought to myself, look at that, right? They're being memorable in business. People are speaking the names and are remembering the names of companies because all in how they laid out a funny commercial. Think about that, right? Let's see here. Oh, Susan was watching YouTube tutorials. Is that on football? Oh, you're telling me I should watch YouTube tutorials? That seems really boring, Susan. I gotta tell you, I don't know if I have the patience for that. Stacy says, "Oh, okay, Sam Elliott, Doritos, yes, right." I missed the Jason Momoa one. I missed that one, but I really did like the the smart car, the smart car. I saw you leak that one. I gotta watch that. I missed that one too. Some of them were really funny, right? And you watch it and you're going to remember the funniness and you'll remember the name or like whatever it was about. And that's how you think about it. That's businesses getting a really good run for their money, because this morning we're talking about stuff, right? Don't you think that there are going to be people going to work this morning, around the water cooler going, did you see that XYZ commercial? Wasn't that funny? And that name just got said, right? Otherwise it wouldn't have. But they paired up something with it, some humor that made it memorable together. All right. So when you think about that for us in business, we're the same thing. All you got to do is, keep business simple and go, what's working? You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but think to yourself, what makes other businesses memorable and how can I be memorable? Well, that was a big thing when it comes to humor. So I wrote down a bunch of things that I want you to think about how to make yourself memorable in business. And as we're talking, I would love for you guys to comment and chime in and tell me what you think. And maybe I'll phrase these as questions so you can really think about this yourself as well. All right. So, and when I say memorable, do you know when sometimes people don't even remember your business name, but they remember you? Oh, you're the girl who does that. Yes, I remember you now. And they don't remember all the details. They might not even say your business name right or anything like that, right? And they know you. They remember you. There's something up here that helps them remember it. And you probably did something that triggered something in their brain so that you were there in their brain, even though they might not get it all right? Remember how we talked about before that people don't always remember, and this is why we should never, ever get concerned about what's behind us. Oh my gosh, the wallpaper that's behind me, whatever it is, the cushion's not right behind me. All the things that when you're getting ready to go live or putting yourself out there in business, or even before you put yourself out there in business, right? You're thinking, I don't have the best of this and I don't have the best of that. At the end of the day, people are not going to remember all the details, but they will remember you. They will remember you and how you made them feel. And so, how did those commercials make you feel last night and what can you learn from it today? So number one, I think I wrote down was that the best way to make yourself memorable is to be you. And that sounds what? Be you? Yes. The reason why I say to be you in a world where everybody's like, I want to stand out, I want to be different, then don't try to be like anyone else, right? If I were to ask you right now, what is something unique about your style? What is it about you? And I mean, sometimes it's our voice. People remember our voice. So it could be something that you're just naturally born with. Nobody has the same voice as you. And you have a voice that's memorable, right? Sometimes it's the way we look, or whether we're tall, whether we're not tall, whether we got long hair, whatever we do with our hair. Maybe you got color in your hair. So do you have a style right now that is yours, right? That's your unique personality. Or it's a voice. How you dress can be also something, right? Do you have a style with how you show up that makes you memorable? If not, if you're down dressing, if you're filtering yourself, all right, don't ever filter yourself when you're doing business. Now, yes, you filter yourself in the way of sex, politics, religion. Those are general no-nos. That's always been the principle, right, of in business. That's just reasonable. For every one opinion, there's always going to be somebody else as a different opinion. Don't deflect from the business that you're doing, right? Unless your business is in those particular topics, why even go there, right? Don't lose focus on what it is and how you're going to serve people in front of you with your product, your service, your solution, all right? So don't deflect from that. Don't make it all noisy and polluted, and just stay focused on whatever it is that you have, right? What you have going on. So when you think about yourself, though, do you dress a certain way? I started to say not filtering yourself, meaning that, if I want to get out with a sweatshirt this morning and talk to you guys, then I don't have to change that, right? I don't have to act a certain way. I don't have to, wear a certain outfit this morning. Just be you, and you will give permission to other people to be themselves as well, which is a very beautiful thing, right? Especially in this world that we live in, where there are so many people who, the highlight reel, right, are trying to be perfect. And at the end of the day, real life is messy, right? And we're just trying to make the best life we possibly can. And, having these expectations. So be you and embrace who you are. So for some of you guys out there, you're like me, you love color. You know what? That's okay. Let color be in your background, paint with color as much as a time when we went through the last couple of years where everything, the industry said everything should be neutral. Everything should be whites and creams and very, very plain, right? There's always somebody that's going to love that style, but overall, that was the industry trend. Well, if that is not who you are, then you don't have to fit the mold of something else that's out there. Go on and be you. I've been here painting with color forever and a day, and I am so happy that now, I'm still over here doing color. So now when everybody's reverting the color this year. You guys have probably heard the trends that people are tired now of a lot of creams. And yes, there will be people who will love neutrals because that's just who they are personally, and they will have that through the rest of their life. They just happen to be in style when that was really, really in style, right? For somebody who follows styles, I'm happy now that everybody's going woohoo, or the general populace is going, people want to see color, right? I've been waiting for all the color lovers to come out. So stick with your style, whether it's in season, whether it's in supposedly in trend. And yes, you can do stuff in your business that obviously plays in. I'm going to use a neutral today to show you a great neutral if you want to pick a neutral for your space, right? But you don't have to pigeonhole yourself into something that you're not, your business is not. Do what you love, right? Judy says, I love white. It's bright, it's cheerful, and I don't like dark colors. Absolutely. There's a sock for every foot. Say it with me. There's a sock for every foot, all right? Which means that whatever, listen, if you want to start a business where you paint nothing but black furniture and navy furniture, you stick with that, and you know what will happen? You will build a following for people as long as you stay true to whatever your love is, right? Because that will span the test of time, and you will have people who will come around you and will love the black and the dark and the gothic furniture, and that's what they love, right? If you make a living off of you love white and you love neutrals and that's everything, like that is to you, that is like, no, that's just where I love. That's what gives me power. Remember, does it suck the life out of you, or does it drain you, or does it give you energy? Then you know what? You do that. You do that because that is your unique style. Regardless of whether it falls in style or not, says the general populace, that's in style in your heart, right? You stay in style in your own way, because what will happen is trends are fickle. You guys know that they repeat themselves, and there will be times that your style might happen to be the general style that everybody's talking about, and there's times that it won't be. But you know what? You'll be memorable if you stay true to what your style is, right? And you keep on going regardless of what anybody else says. Kim says her style is whatever she feels like that day. Nothing wrong with that. And with action comes clarity, right? Clarity through actions, what I always preach to you guys. Because the more you do stuff, after a while, you'll have phases that you go through different things. And then just the more it like accumulates. And then you go, you know what, that was fun for a period of time, but now I want to paint this, or now I want to make this, or do that, right? And this teaching that I'm applying to you guys in here is not just for painters, it's for anybody. You just fill in the blank, right? Whatever your style, cupcakes is, mosaics is, whatever it is that's selling hot right now, but you have a style that you love, stick with it. Doesn't mean that you can't do a few of those things, but overall, what I'm saying is stick with your true style. You will be memorable if you eventually pinpoint a style for yourself. My style is shabby, distressed shabby, all right? And that's not for everybody, but that's for me and for the people who get it, all right? And the people who are not into that, you know, they might not follow me, and that's okay, because I have my own tribe of people who get it, right? And so stand up for something, embrace your own unique style, whatever it is, all right? If you love glassy, you know, furniture, do that again and again and again, and attract people, right? Stand for something and embrace your own unique style, something that you love. Maybe your style is more eclectic, right? And you're a little bit of everything. That's okay too. I'm a little bit of the new, I'm a little bit of the old. I love to clearance shop for new stuff that's on sale, because overall my theme is I definitely love to, you know, girl on a budget. I love to be able to find stuff that is affordable. And you can bring, you know, make your home beautiful that way. So you'll see me paint stuff. Sometimes you won't see me not paint stuff. Sometimes it's new, sometimes it's old, but that is a style in itself, because that's all like eclectic, right? Which is so funny, because I was reading something this week and they're like, what's one of the styles now is having a mixture of new and old, right? And you know, anybody else out there is just like, I've been doing that forever, right? I've been picking other people's junk and bringing it home. All right. So one part of that you can be memorable with is if you're funny. Like, don't filter that, because laughter is the best medicine. And if you ever have gone anywhere with somebody and you're in a group with people that you don't know, right? And you made a comment, it wasn't offensive, nothing like that, but I'm just talking about just general humor, right? Like, you say something that's funny and everybody laughs. Even if you have no more conversation, when you leave the room, have you ever heard somebody say, oh my gosh, that girl or that guy was so funny, right? Like, you're memorable. They might not even know your name, but humor is a way that we connect with other people, right? It changes the mood, it lightens the mood. And so it's okay to be you. And if you're funny, Be funny. All right. The next way that I wrote down that you can be memorable to somebody else, especially in a world where there's a lot of like saturation. There might be a lot of people doing the same thing as you, but not people the same as you. Okay. So tell them something that's going to change their life, bring value to them, make them memorable. Oh my gosh, you were a lifesaver because when you told me that, do you know what I was doing? You're a light, like you will further go down in their history, in their mind, in their like future of going, the girl or guy that told them this, that like completely like changed their world, gave them like, have you ever seen those little hacks that go around and says, how old were you when you found out that blah, 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 right? And you're like, no, I didn't know that. When somebody tells you something that changes your world, like changes a piece, give you a piece of advice, and maybe you from that piece of advice, you gain back more time than you had before because now they told you a shortcut. Maybe you gave them a piece of advice when it comes to decorating and they thought they had to like tear it out, but now they can just paint it, right? That's what happens a lot in my world when people find out, oh my gosh, I can just junk monkey it. What? I don't have to primer, sand, or strip. What? It goes in all these sorts of things. And yeah, you can do that, right? Like there's so many different ways you could use it. And you're showing people and they're making the connection in their head because you don't know when you're going live, you don't know the home that you're broadcasting into. And they're looking around their home going like, man, I thought I was stuck with that. I thought I needed to buy something new. I'm tired of staring at that. And then all of a sudden now I found something that you were demonstrating or something that you were doing. And now, do you know how much money you saved me? Right? Think about that. So your product, your service, your solution, what is it that you're helping people with, right? You're more than just your product, right? Because that product that you have, that service, that solution, the thing that you have for sale, right? There's the reason behind why somebody buys it. There's that pain point. So if you can share something with somebody that makes a connection and somehow makes their life a bit better, they're gonna remember you, right? Honestly, I just think there's so many different ways you can apply that to. And even like in the hospitality field, somebody is on vacation. What is it that they need think about it, not even think about like a physical cup or anything. Like just think about it in general and how you make somebody feel. Think about the hospitality, a hotel that they stay in. You go on vacation, okay? You plan a vacation with your family, with your money. You're going on vacation. You stay at a B&B, you go to a restaurant or something like that along the way. You got to eat, you got to stay, right? You got your family with you. And you're just hoping that, you're going to a new place. You've never been there before. And you're hoping that the money that you spent on this is going to be worth it, that everybody's going to have a good time, right? You're going to feel refreshed by the time you come back home. And you stay at a place where somebody makes you feel like, they get up every morning, you're at a B&B and they make you blueberry pancakes and they take time to talk with you in the kitchen or the living room, or you're going out to a restaurant, they take really good care of you, right? And that's what you're more than just a plate of pancakes. You're the overall experience, right? And then you treat them really well. You're memorable. You have a laugh. You have conversation with them. And they go back home. And what did they remember? That cute little spot that we stayed at, right? It was so good. They're going to tell their friends about it. They're going to spread the word. They're probably going to come back. They might not even remember all the exact name of your business, but they know you. They know you. They can picture you in your mind that you made them feel so good, right? You're memorable. You're memorable. And you're more than just a plate of pancakes because it was that conversation that came with it, right? You made them feel at home. They didn't feel lonely when they're on vacation traveling through a new area, right? They just were very, very kind to your kids that you had with you. And you just felt like, oh my gosh, this is such a kid-friendly place. Like they talked to my children and made me feel so welcome, right? That's memorable, right? That's more than I'm just a plate of blueberry pancakes and I'm a food establishment. That's the experience that comes with it, right? They take it back home. Barb says, I tell customers I am not a refinisher. If they have those expectations, it sets me up to fail. Setting up, that's a good thing to talk on. Expectations, absolutely. And you're probably talking about right now just being totally honest with people, right? And being human. That's a great way to be memorable. Telling people the truth of the matter, right? So that later they come back, they're not going to be disappointed and feel like, well, that's not what you told me, which kind of leads into the next thing I had written down here, which is repeat back. Okay. Those were the two words I wrote down, how to be memorable. What the heck does repeat back mean? So if I listen to you, remember how I said we all have our own unique style? The way you say words, you might not use the same words as me, but I might know exactly what you're talking about. So, for example, in the furniture world, if I use the word distress, Sonia, I want to hire you to paint this dresser. And you tell me, you say, I want it so that some of the brown shows through. The dresser's already brown. You're bringing it to me. I'm going to paint it for you. I want it so that some of the brown shows through, right? Now, in my mind, I know that means distressed, okay? They want the paint knocked off, so a little bit of that brown veneer is coming through to give that overall distressed look, right? So remember that just because you are in the world of whatever it is that you do, the industry that you're in, whatever you call your piece that you do, that not everybody is going to refer to the same thing as you, all right? So an important part of being memorable is making that connection and people understanding that you identify with what it is that they're saying. So for example, to go down that path of when you're doing a custom job for somebody, and they say, yeah, I want a little bit of the brown coming through. Instead of you saying, yeah, you want it distressed, and they're like, yeah, I think that's what, yeah. What I want is the brown coming through. You know what they're trying to say, right? And you don't have to use your words. Basically, repeat back what they're saying. So yes, so I'm going to do this color, and you want a little bit of the brown coming through, right? Yeah. That just makes them feel safe, makes them feel okay. You know exactly what they want. You have repeated back to them what it is that they don't you feel so much better when you go, even physically, when you go to a restaurant and you give somebody your order and they take the time to repeat it back so you got it right, or you're ordering something and you just want to make sure, or you give somebody your telephone number and you go, okay, can you repeat that back to me just so I know that you got it right? Think about being memorable as part of delivering great service. When we repeat back whatever it is that we're going to be doing for somebody, the service that we're going to be doing for somebody, because you're memorable, because you're taking care of them. You're going to accommodate them. You're taking the time to speak back what they just said, and that they have delivered those words to you and you got it. You're able to repeat it back, and therefore it makes them have greater confidence in you and feel better and be, yeah, Sonia takes care of my needs, right? Because you know what? She always asks me to make sure exactly what I want, and she always gets it. So repeating back is a great way to be able to connect with people, right? Mom's on here. I told you guys that my parents own and operate just a really nice hospitality spot back home in Canada. Been voted one of the top 50 places to eat in Canada for the last, 15, 16 years. And Mom says, funny you mentioned pancakes. This weekend I was at the cabin, had visitors skidoo from off the island. Okay, they were there touring. When they saw me, they called me the pancake lady. My mom makes amazing pancakes, okay? Yes, they might not always remember your name. They might not remember the name of your business, but they will remember how you feel and how the food made them feel, right? And just the overall, because let's put this to the test. You could make the best pancakes in the world, right? It could be made of gold. They could be made of, some high quality ingredient that was sourced from the furthest parts of the world, okay? But if you have really crappy service, do you really think you're going to be memorable in a really bad way, right? They're not going to come back. Word of mouth negativity spreads even more than positivity, let's be honest. And they're never going to be back. You'll never see them again, right? So you can have the best product. Right now you're thinking about, I got to have the best for my business. Everything has got to be perfect. But if you're so focused on the product and not the people, what's going to happen is you're not going to see the people return anymore, right? Whereas if you take somebody, even if you're still you're still like getting better at whatever it is that you're doing, and you don't have the years of expertise, and you're at the very beginning of it, right? If you are nice to people, if you treat people how you wish that you would be treated, think of them like that was your mom, if that was your dad or your brother or your sister, how would you want them to be treated? They will give you grace. They will come back again. They will sing your praises, and they will come back and they will give you business again and again, right? And it's not because you got it perfect, but it's because you were memorable enough in how you made somebody feel that they're willing to give you a second chance again. Or you know what? They loved what you might not. You were your own worst critic, but they loved what you put out, and they're going to come back again, right? So don't always get caught up in this. This is the stuff that makes us memorable. It's the personality. It's our own spin. It's the friendliness, right? It's all that stuff that we have, but sometimes we put on our business hat and our business coat and we forget to be us, right? And I want you to be you. That is how you stand out. All right, how about this? A different point of view can also make you stand out. Talking about good and bad, sometimes there can be people who come out and say a point of view that's completely against the grain, and it can be very controversial, right? So we don't want to be known for controversial things, right? Be memorable for something good. So for my world, it could be that, I'm memorable in the fact that I will tell people that, listen, if you have a dresser that belongs to your grandma or your grandpa and you love them dearly, and you have been able to get a piece of furniture from them, but you're hiding it in the basement, and every year that goes by, it's down there in the mold, it's down there in the damp, it's down there in the dust, nobody is seeing it. And you know what? I give you permission to take it out, to clean it up, and to put a fun pop of color, whatever makes your heart happy, and put that thing on display in your house and let it be a conversation piece. I don't care if you put it in sunshine yellow, but you know what? You're going to be able to give a nod to your loved family member. You're going to see that every day. It's going to bring you joy. You're not going to feel bad about having it in the basement. And who cares what anybody else thinks, right? Because it's your house, it's your stuff, do it your way. Now, that's my point of view, right? And that's not everybody's point of view. But that's a point of view that makes sense, because I want people to know that, hey, love what you got in your own way. And at the end of the day, it's your four corners of the world. You make it however you want to make it. Who cares if you want to paint it in sunshine yellow, but society says it should be cream or whatever. It doesn't make a difference. Do what's best for you, right? So when you are on your own platform, right, you have things that you can say as well that people will remember you for. Yeah, that's true. You know what? I agree with what she said there. A lot of people will tell you not to paint it, but she says, rather than let it go to waste in the basement, I agree. Bring it up. Let's bring it up. Let's put it out. All right, what color you want to do it, right? Think about that, right? So it's okay to give permission as you go to people, to let them know if you have a certain point of view on something, to help them move forward in their decision, all right? Not to create controversy, but to be able to give them permission, free them from something, in all the industries that we're in. Sometimes that, there's certain things that people think, like this is the stereotypical way to think, right? And if you're unique and you think different, let that be part of your message to people. Say, dude, I'm just like freeing you. I'm freeing you. Nobody, there is no furniture police that's going to come after you, all right, and tell you, oh my gosh, you painted that. So sometimes you just have to free people up to be like, do it, just do it. Well, yeah, like whatever you want. And if you don't like it, that's okay. Change it again. You don't have to keep it like it forever. So we all have different things that we do. Our industries might be different, but at the end of the day, give permission to people. Give permission to people to, you know what? Yeah, you don't have to check your phone every day. Unplug, just enjoy yourself. You know what? Maybe it's good that you come here and there's no Wi-Fi, right? Whatever. Help them embrace your world. So, because maybe there's a part of your world that they wish that they could take back with them. Like, give them some good nuggets, right? Let them go on their way and fuel their mind with some good things to think about. Sandy says, I just fell in love with some dishes from 1958. It brings me joy to use them. That's a great example, okay? That's a great example, because I was this person at one point where I thought that I should save everything, right? Like save your craft stuff, right? Let's see, even like save, like if you have like a nice piece of jewelry, don't wear it, right? Like keep it in the box. Well, you guys know that I've done some moving in my life, right? And as part of that moving, there were things that got destroyed in boxes, things that I didn't even wear because I was keeping it, right? A nice dress that I was keeping for the perfect occasion or whatever, or a t-shirt or something like that. And you know what? I couldn't even tell you where those things are right now. Or the dampness or the mold got to it, or there was a flood in somebody's basement or whatever. And there are things that got destroyed, things that I will never see again, and things that I never ever got to use, right? So I am going to be the very first person to tell you that if you have something that you like, if you have some china that brings you happiness, you know what? It doesn't have to stay in a china cabinet. Get it out and have a beautiful cup of coffee in the morning from that beautiful cup that you got, right? Because you can't take it with you. You might as well use it. So instead of like saving up your craft supplies and then, you know what, you look back and the marker's dried up or something you had dried up, use it now, right? That dress that you got that you're sitting there forever and you go back and you look at it like a year later and all of a sudden now there's a stain on your shoulder. You have no idea where it came from. And you're like, I didn't even get to wear that dress. Now what am I going to do, right? So this is a point of view. This is a point of view. You have your own points of view in whatever world you're in. All right. Don't be afraid. That'll make you memorable. I'm telling you right now, use it before you lose it, right? You got it. You might as well use it. So don't keep it. If you got a beautiful ring, wear it, show it off, right? Like, just if it brings you joy, don't store it away. Take it out. Don't store that piece of furniture in the basement. Take it out. That's a point of view. And there might be people out there who go, no, you got to save it. Do you see the difference? It's not controversy. It's just freeing somebody with your point of view to let them go forward and go, you know what? Do that today. Will ya? Do that today. See, Candy says, every day is your special occasion. Absolutely. Live today. Like, you know what? Like what? Yeah. What would be something that you would want to do? And even think of it bigger. Like, what is something that you want to do with your life? Like, do it now. Perspective, right? Do it now, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Get out that dress. Get out that ring, right? Do what you got to do. Point of view can make you stand out and be memorable because you're passionate about something. All right, number 7, listening to people. That kind of ties back into when I said about repeat back. Think about, oh man, we know, okay, this is a good example, because if you've ever gone to a doctor, and I remember one time I first moved here to the US, I had to get a new doctor. And that's when I realized that they're not all created equal, is that I went into the room and I sat on like the bed, and the doctor came in, whooshed around, closed the door. He went over to the side and literally opened up his file chart. His back was towards me. He was like going through the charts really quick and asking me questions. And I'm thinking, you didn't even look at me. Like, I'm over here, right? Like, are you reading something while I'm trying to tell you something, whatever it is the issue was? And I quickly realized that all of a sudden these feelings of, I really don't like this dude. Like, I'm going to have to find a new place because I really don't like his bedside manner, right? Like, he's not looking at me. He's not over here. Like, I don't even know if his mind is really where it needs to be right now. I didn't feel like I was taken care of, right? That comes to listening to people. All right. And I'm going to also put in here eye contact as well. That's important. So when your customers come in, whether it's physical, all right, or whether you're looking at them right now virtually, take a moment to look up from your notes or even from your project or anything that you're working on. And you know what? Look at them, repeat back something somebody says, so you can tell them that you're here, you're getting, there's a two-way, thing going on here. And listen to what they're saying, answer their questions, and be with them. All right. Be with them present, because it's not about you. It's about serving somebody else. So why shouldn't you take the time to look at somebody and to ask them questions, to really take a moment to get inside their head so you can really help them better, right? That's important. Listening to what they're saying. People want to be heard. All right. Why do you think that we have the thing on Facebook that says, at the very top, when you put in your post, how are you feeling today? That's because people want to be heard, right? We want people to know how we feel. We want to matter, right? And that is why social media does so well. That is why Facebook does so well, because this is like a virtual way for us to say, some people more than others, what's on our mind, right? Yeah. Now, if you abuse that, people will ban you. But I mean, just in general, right? Why do you think there's bumper stickers even physically on the back of cars? Because we want people to know, right? We want to be known. We want to be acknowledged. And so we put bumper stickers on the back of our car. That was not so much anymore, but it still exists. But yeah, you want people to know. You want to be part of a community. You want to be part of a collective. You want people to know what it is that you stand for. And so when you are talking to customers, realize that if they are hiring you, if they are coming to your storefront, if they are coming to your restaurant, if they're, they've picked you out of all the places. So why would you not take care of them? Why would you not take a moment to ask them questions, to look at them, to do eye contact, right? And to remember that it is about them, all right? One of the things I wrote down here is, how can I help you? That's another way to be memorable. How can I help you today, right? Asking people how you can help them in a world where things are so busy. Be memorable. Ask how you can help somebody today. The most basic of things, how to be memorable. Yeah, he or she really took care of me. They asked me what I needed. They looked at me. They asked me how I felt. They asked me exactly what I need. They repeated it back a couple times, a couple different ways. I know we're on the same page. They're memorable. I'm going to go back. He or she, they got me. They got my back. Okay, they understand what I need. So you get what I'm saying? All right. So listen to what your person says. Another way to be memorable, remember that only one person has your story. That you and only you, as weird or special people might say that you are sometimes, on a funny note, They love you, but they're just telling you that, yeah, you're weird. You know what? Embrace the weirdness, right? Embrace the shine that you have, because that sets you apart from somebody else. But who you are today is a just a collection of all the experiences that you've had. Everything. Think about all just the touches in life that you've had, the things that you've experienced, right? And you learn who you are the more experiences that you have. But nobody has your same story. Nobody was born the exact time as you, where you were born. Nobody grew up how you grew up. That is all things that make you special compared to somebody else, right? Like we're all so different, and that is the spice of life. And you know what? There's a spice for every dish, right? And there's a sock for every foot. Thank goodness. How boring life would be if we were all the same. Can you imagine if we were all the same? Like, that would be really, really boring. Things smelled the same. They looked the same. They were the same color. How boring would that be? So what's beautiful is when you embrace the fact that you are your own story. You're your own creation. You are your own person. And that will make you memorable, because nobody else can say it the way you say it. Nobody else can be you as hard as they try. Remember how we had the whole conversation about what business should you be in? Be in one that makes sense for you, that is so natural to you, that even on your worst day, you could be it, that it just is you, you ooze it, right? For somebody who comes out of the gate and tries to be you, like, you might have people in your world that look at what you do and go, I want to be this person so bad, to the point I will dress like them. They're doing everything that you're doing. Yeah. How long does that keep up for? It's tiring, right? They come out of the gate. They're going to open up the same place as you. They're going to make it look the same way as you. They've even been in your building, eyeballing up your ideas, and they want to take it down the road so they can be exactly like you, because you are inspiring. But you know what? It's going to be long and hard for them to keep up that fraud, because that's not who they really are, right? And business is long and hard. It's the journey, and it's not just running up the hill. And so it's going to be easier for you to be you forever and a day than for them to try to be something that they're not, right? And that usually fizzles out, because they lose the energy, they lose the steam, the passion that you authentically have. So it kind of makes me laugh when I see situations like that happen as well, right? But you are you for the long haul. Jan says, people will trust you more if you look them into the eyeball when you talk to them. I don't trust someone if they won't. Yes. And even if it doesn't come natural to you, you got to really work on that. That is very, very important. Looking at your customer, because if not, even though maybe it's harder for you to do that, but what happens is it makes people think that you're hiding something. Or, if I say to you, like, yep, it works. Yep, it works. Like, if I look at you and I say it works, whatever it is that you're doing, then it's more believable, because you know what? You're facing them, you're looking right into the eyes of the soul, right? And you're saying something. And that leads to the passing along of the message being more powerful, because people believe you. It comes across as being honest when you can look at somebody in the eyes and tell them whatever it is that you're about to say, right? So you can take notes as well. I wrote down how to be memorable. Is that if you work with a lot of customers and you have a lot of people the muscle memory gets easier the longer that you go. But especially for you, if it's harder to remember people, you remembering somebody is important, right? So if somebody comes in and they tell you a piece of information, and you, as part of the service that they're doing with you, make a note, right? Just make a side note, not on a contract or anything like that, but just make a side note to put in there. Oh yeah, this was the lady. She wanted this for her daughter's birthday. All right. Put a little sticky on that. All right. And then just have it so that when they come back, you can go, oh, that's right. It's your daughter's birthday. All right. Yeah. How's that going? You got everything ready for that? Oh my goodness. She's going to love it. Right. People love it when you remember things about them, when you make them feel special, when you remember their name. That's a big one, right? So, one of the first things that you will get taught when you're in hospitality, if it's a good hospitality place, is that there are a lot of ways to find somebody's name out, right? Listen for it. But a lot of times people are paying you with a credit card that has their name right on it, right? So somebody who takes a moment, think about the place that you've been at, and you pay them with a credit card, they haven't even asked your name. And all of a sudden you look at it, they look at it and go, oh, yeah, thank you so much, Mrs. Miller. I hope you have a great stay today, right? Or thank you, Sonia. Then you're like, oh, they know my name. I love doing that when I'm at like places like Walmart or a store. Their name tag is right on them. And you say, thank you so much, Jessica. I really appreciate you doing that. And they look up like, do you know me? Do you know me? Because remember this week we talked about the sweetest sound in the world is somebody's name, no matter what language it's in, right? We hear our name. If you even kind of hear your name, you're like, did they say my name? Right? It's like, woo, ears up, satellites up, right? So using somebody's name, remembering notes about them, something special about them can go a long ways to making somebody feel memorable. Therefore, you're memorable because they're going to go, yeah, they really took care of me. They cared enough, right? Lisa says, Sonia, I do the same. It's fun to do that. It is fun to do that. It just makes people feel noticed, right? Especially, they're checking out. It might get monotonous for them. They're seeing lots of people, and then somebody comes by and goes, thank you, Lisa, for doing that. I appreciate that, right? Or thank you so much. Nice talking to you, Lisa, right? It just makes you feel like, wow, I'm not a wallflower, right? I'm a real living life person, and somebody acknowledged me. So that can go a very long way. Try that today. If you're out and about somewhere and somebody with a name tag and use their name in a sentence, they will take care of you even more, like your server or anything like that. They appreciate that, right? That will make your table memorable because they'll remember that you took time to speak their name and to something about them, a detail about them. All right, the next thing, a way to make somebody make your business feel memorable. We live in a world where there's good to be seen in everything if you look hard enough, right? It's just whatever story you tell yourself. But there's so much negativity and it can be really hard. You just never know the struggles that somebody else is going through. And so we often hear the saying, be kind to other people because you never know you never know their struggles. You never know what they're going through, right? You can't judge a book by its cover. And so this is the one I'm going to leave you with is, compliment other people, right? When you compliment somebody else, when you see something that somebody else is doing and it makes you feel good, don't hold back. Tell them that. It could be something as simple, for us ladies, if somebody says, oh my gosh, I love your hair, I love your nails, right? Just something as simple as that, because it instills confidence, right? You're memorable when you make people feel good. They want to be around you. All right. That's just normal. Think about that. Be memorable because you know what? You told somebody, you told somebody something about them that you saw, that you see in them, that maybe they don't see themselves, or it's been a long time since somebody has complimented them or told them something today. Like you can be that person that when they're around you, you just make them feel good because they don't have that, right? We just don't know every day what the struggles or what people go through. So if you see something, compliment them, right? When I would go into homes and I know myself that when you have company over, you think the worst about your home, right? Like, yeah, you just think the worst. Oh, they're going to see this, they're going to see that. What will they think? I'm having a stranger into my house, whatever. If you walk into somebody's home and you're going to do a service for them as an example, and they've let you into their inner workings, their house, their four corners where they are, right? The moment you walk in and you see something that catches your attention and you go, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Or you go, that stairwell is gorgeous. Or I love what you did on your wall over here. That's gorgeous, right? What does that immediately do? Somebody who feels guarded, somebody who feels very insecure, all of a sudden they're like, thank you, right? Thank you very much, right? You make them feel good, right? You can be memorable because I only hire this person because you know what? They get it. They get me. They come in. They don't judge me, right? They come in and they're just so nice and they're so friendly. And you know what? I will give them the code to my garage. They can come in, let themselves in, do what they want to do because you've established this level of friendliness, right? And you're not coming in as being all the business person, right? Come in, like help people let their guard down. Tell them something nice about them. Tell them something. Your house is beautiful. Your house is cozy. Oh, I'm still a work in progress. Yeah, but it's beautiful. I love what you've done so far. Don't be afraid to let people know that. People will remember you for doing that because they'll be comfortable around you. And guess who they're going to hire to come back into their home again? Somebody who made them feel like they were lesser than. Or, okay, because When somebody doesn't talk to you, like for me, that is somebody that I don't like to work with. If I have work done on my home or something like that, if they don't feel down to earth, if they don't say anything, they're not memorable. Okay. They're not memorable. I look at them, I look at the price on the paper, and they're not memorable. Now, if somebody comes in and they're very nice and they're friendly and there's a two-way exchange of conversation going on here, maybe a connect over something, a great way to be memorable is when you actually start having conversation, you go, I have the same one too, right? Me too, I got that one too, or I love that too, right? You start to have this common ground. Now they're memorable versus somebody who is not memorable that only has a name and a price on paper for the service, right? Somebody who's like, oh yeah, they're just, oh my goodness, they're great. They're just like me. They come in, let them do their thing. I trust them. Way to go, right? That's a great way to build business. Jan says she goes into her local Starbucks and she says, and one of the other local coffee shops, and they all know her name and it makes her feel so good, like she's at home. Isn't that the truth? Oh my goodness. And listen, as somebody who has moved to a country that they're not even from, and you start off as an adult and you don't know anybody, I'm going to tell you, if you've ever had that experience in your life, you feel like nobody, right? You feel like you're starting from the ground up because by this age, you have friends, people know you. So I feel you if you've ever moved somewhere and you've started a new start and you don't know your neighbors, right? And you don't know anybody and nobody knows you. And it's like you're recreating your life all over from the very beginnings. And you just want somebody to know you. They don't even know what you did before. They know nothing about you, and you want to connect with people. I remember going into when I first moved here to stores and, they know very quickly that you're not from around here, right? And so I just remember the stores that have got to know me, right? I'm not just a tourist passing through. They saw me coming down for bread and milk and all that sort of stuff. And they got to know my name. I give them my card every single time. You start to be familiar with somebody, right? And somebody says, hey, how you doing today, Sonia, right? It makes you feel, oh, good. I'm doing good, right? Just down to grab my lettuce, whatever it is that I need and get out of here today, right? It makes you feel so good. It really does when somebody acknowledges you and knows you, right? When I go live right now, I know you guys show up every single day. I've already taken note. And with every piece of information that you've given me, I can look at a name and I already have feelings and things that come up, right? With each one of you, because I've been to your page, we've had conversation about something, you've messaged me, you're memorable, right? Versus somebody who has watched and has never spoken, right? Or somebody who I've never had that dialogue with, right? To be able to make those connections with. So there's something to be said about conversation, right? Conversation more than just how to do this mug. How to be memorable, put yourself out there, right? Start talking to people. Let your inner light shine and just, make the eye contact with people, listen to people, ask the questions, right? Thank them and, talk back and forth. What a great way to build rapport, relationships, and be memorable because now people got something when they think of you, they already have things that inside, right? That come up that they think about. Whether it's something you did together, something you experienced together, conversation you've had about something, you've got a connection, you got something to remember them for. You can go into a room of people and they never say a word and they, unless they have, something like somebody's wearing a bow tie or something like that, that might be the only thing that sets them apart from a crowd of people. And that person might be memorable only because of the bow tie, because everybody else is wearing the very same thing, right? So you don't fit in, right? Don't look like everybody else. Don't be cookie cutter. Don't think that you have to be a certain way because everybody else is doing it. The power comes when you're yourself and then people realize that, oh my gosh, he or she is just like me. It's just like me. And I enjoy tuning into so-and-so show or going to whenever they're doing a live because they get me and I get them, right? There's you're memorable. You're memorable and people gravitate to what they know and they love and they like and they trust. Chris tells people, I tell people flat out that I'm bad at names, but I will remember that you love your cat or you collect penguins or whatever, right? True story. And part of being memorable could be, I got to tell you, girl, I'm sorry if I mess up your name because me too, Chris. I am bad at names. I will remember you and everything that you told me about you. But sometimes I forget names, so you might have to help me with that, right? That's being normal, because now you've just given permission to somebody else to be like, I'm the same way. I'm the same way, right? That's part of just being you. Jackie says, I love living in a small town because I usually see someone I know no matter what business I walk into, right? Yes. Love it. That sense of community, the sense of knowing. Yeah, there's just something to be said. There is just something to be said about when conversations happen, and you also get to make a decision of whether or not you like somebody or not, right? You get to make a decision on whether or not you want to do business with them, if you want to go on and be friends with them or not. So give somebody today, something to show who you really are, so they can decide if they want to continue to follow you, if they want to be a part of whatever it is that you're doing, right? Whatever it is you're building. That's right. Treat everybody with kindness. Isn't that true? You can't judge a book by its cover. And you just never know. You never, ever know the things that people are struggling with, right? So why not be kind? Why not be that light? So when you guys think about yourself, did I give you something to think about today? I always say that, did I leave you better than I found you, right? I love it when we get to hang out, and if you guys walk away just feeling a little more empowered, inspired. That's what I love, right? I love to be able to talk to people and leave them different than how I found them, and know that we got this. We're in this together, and that you are normal, right? And these things that you feel is completely normal. So when you think about yourself today, do you have something that maybe you're going to be a little bit more giving of yourself, more freeing of yourself, something that you're going to try, something that you've held in for a long time? And, just being a little bit more of you, right? Show your beautiful personality. If something makes you laugh with it out loud. Don't try to make everything curated to be absolutely perfect. Life, right? Oh, good. I'm glad that makes me happy, Barb. Thank you. Thank you, Tammy. She says, an amazing session. Good deal. Yeah. Yesterday, I did the recording of the video to go in here for yesterday's 8 a.m. Piece of advice, coaching, whatever, as we all grow together. And I'm like, man, I kind of miss doing the live. But I had to take you into my phone to show you how to do the watermarking. Candy says, Barb, you are so right. We all put our Spanx on the same way. Too funny. That's what my mom's on here. She'll tell you as well. That's something I always grew up with my father. What he would say, my dad would always say, ever since I was a young girl. And I remember too, I shared with you guys that I worked in the media. And as a result of that, I got to interview some very famous, high-powered people as part of my job. And I remember sometimes talking to him saying, I've got to interview this person or this person tomorrow. And, you know what he would always say? Well, remember, we all put our pants on one leg at a time, right? Isn't that true? We all put our pants on one leg at a time. At the end of the day, titles, whatever. And that's why when you actually have conversation with people, you're more than a title. You're more than a job, right? You're a person. And so we're all the same in that very way. That's right, Catherine. This is more than just about business. Yep. What can you do for somebody else today that helps them, that, be memorable, improves their life, right? That's how you're going to be memorable. They will always be thankful to you for that. If you do something authentically and it helps them, right? We need more help now than ever, I think, in life, especially when there's so much negativity. And, that's why I like to keep all my platforms positive, because I need a positive space. I don't know about you guys. And so I love positivity. I love doing what you love, tapping into who you are, tapping into your zone of genius, tapping into the superpower that you have. And you know what? Just doing what you love, never working a day in your life because you're doing what you love, and, empowering and inspiring other people to do the same. Pink Girls is on here this morning. What are you guys up to? What are you girls up to? Right? Painting somewhere today makes a good start to the day. It does. All right, friends. Well, it's 9 o'clock. I got to get my Monday started as well. Hopefully you had a great weekend, and hopefully your Super Bowl team won. Okay. And if not, hopefully the munchies were good. The commercials were good. Or you know what? You enjoyed the halftime show. Okay. Hopefully there was something about it that made you laugh. See you, Mom. Mom's on here this morning as well, hanging out. Do you remember Dad saying that? Everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time. Always stuck with me. Claudia says, I work in customer service, so I know this stuff works. I've learned the hard way to just be yourself and be real. There's nothing better when you go somewhere and you get a friendly person who checks you in and says something that's totally human. And you're like, yes, right? And you laugh together or something like that. All right, friends, I would love it if you would take a moment to like this video, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart. It helps me be able to keep the doors open to our online community here every morning and do this with you guys. And if you'd be so kind as to share, so all you have to do is click the share link below or up above. I think there's 3 dots. Every device is different. I would love it if you pass it on and give somebody else some positivity today, and know that, and let them know too, that sometimes when you feel like you're in an oversaturated world, that there is only you, and you have the power to make it a good day or a bad day, right? It's all up to you. All right, my friends, I will see you guys again tomorrow. Come in again tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time live. Bring a fresh cup of coffee, and who knows what we'll chit-chat about. All right, everybody sending love and hearts. That's awesome. All right, go make it a good day, because, well, you hear me when I say that you can. It's in your control. See you guys.